Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. I am so happy to be back with you for another Twin Flame Collective tarot reading and energy update. And I have to say, it brings me so much joy to do these readings for you. So if this is your first time tuning in, I am so grateful that you are here and listening. And as I always say, remember not to fall into the egoic traps of relying on external content or external validation to soothe your ego, especially on the twin flame journey, the purpose of which is to test and trigger your ego constantly. Ultimately, these readings are meant to be a guide for you to reach union with self. They are not meant to tell you things that are going to soothe your ego, that, you're going to have reunion with your twin flame in this many days or anything like that. Like, the purpose of this channel is to encourage and inspire and point you towards the inner work that is being requested or required of you, that your angels and spirit guides are calling you forward to take on as part of this twin flame journey and experience. So I hope that resonates with you, and let's dive right into the reading. If you hear purring in the background, that is my cat. He loves to be a part of these as well. So, okay, the first card we're getting is the Page of Wands, and we've also got the Page of Pentacles. That's interesting that we've got two pages coming up. So these are kind of ideas in their infancy. In the previous reading, we had the 2 and 3 of Wands, so it was very much about being in the beginning of this project, the initial phase of progress. So with the page energy, it's similarly about being in that initial stage of growth and progress, and kind of like a new beginning kind of energy about them. So with the Page of Wands, that's the fire element, so you could be dealing with a fire sign, as opposed to the Page of Pentacles, we're dealing with earth energy. So the Page of Wands is this fiery, energizing, enthusiastic, creative energy. And so in this period of growth, exploration, it's pointing us to taking risks and really pursuing our dreams with full embracing of our passions. Feeling that kind of inner empowerment to try new things and follow our dreams and take control of our destiny. On the other hand, the Page of Pentacles is talking more about hard work and the perseverance, right? Like feeling determined to reach your goals and, putting in the effort, putting in that dedication and being patient, right? It's, the pentacles are always going to be a kind of slow moving, grounded energy. So together, I feel like we have this beautiful and powerful combination of creativity and practicality. And I'm getting chills channeling into this. So it's kind of like with the fire energy of the Page of Wands, we have energy, we have passion, we're inspired to pursue our goals. And then with the energy, the earthy energy of the Page of Pentacles, we have the discipline and we have the focus to take the action steps needed to accomplish the goals. So let's channel more into this. Okay, we're getting the High Priestess, as well as the 4 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. This is really interesting. So we have 2 4s. I'm getting chills as I'm pulling these cards. So let me see what I can channel. Okay. So High Priestess is all about the mysterious subconscious, the intuition, sometimes, which can be confusion or parts of us that are repressed, but is also a energy of stillness and patience. There's also, the intuition and inner wisdom is huge. And we got the moon in the last reading, and I talked a lot about how absolutely critical it is for you to prioritize and connect with your intuition and following that inner wisdom. Ultimately, everything you need to know is within you. It's just about quieting your mind and reaching stillness enough so that you can hear it. And so with the Four of Swords, I'm definitely picking up on kind of this energy of stillness and rest. And, turning any stress and conflict, turning away from it and retreating from it, giving yourself that time to rest and recuperate, and not just falling into the habits or patterns that repeatedly bring us stress or conflict, not just going through the motions. Because what we really need to be doing is turning away from it, shifting our focus, and prioritizing the things that are going to bring us rest and rejuvenation. And this isn't to say to ignore your responsibilities or neglect them, but it is a shift in how we experience life, really. I mean, it's an embodiment shift. It's a complete identity shift, really. The things that we felt like we needed to make sacrifices for or prioritize, we're realizing that there's really nothing more important than our well-being and our ability to rest. And so however we can manifest and create that in our lives, that is key. And with the Four of Cups, I'm feeling like there's this sense of feeling like you don't have enough, feeling this sense of disappointment. Maybe you feel like, well, I would rest, but I can't because of XYZ. And Spirit is guiding you and encouraging you to shift your perspective and find opportunities of rest, opportunities of self-love. They may not be, like, your day-to-day life may not be your perfect dream wish, but finding those little pockets of self-love, self-care, gratitude, rest, self-nurturing, those little bits really add up, and that's what's going to make big shifts in your identity embodiment. So as we're kind of pulling together the meeting of the High Priestess, Four of Swords, Four of Cups, I'm really picking up on this call to achieve a state of balance. Okay. Let's see what else we can channel here. My cat is lying all over these cards, so he's really feeling these messages today. Okay, we have the Death and the Two of Cups. So with the Death, I'm feeling very much like, I'm getting chills. There's going to be, of course, the Death represents transformation and the end of a cycle, right? And I feel like for you, this is about the end of an old identity, right? Like the part of you that would overgive. You may have dealt for a long time with people-pleasing tendencies, and that might be something that you're actively attempting to overcome. And, perhaps setting better boundaries. It could be a really top priority of your life right now. And with the Death, I'm really feeling like this end of this chapter, this end of this old identity that would neglect your own needs for others. And so with the Death and the Two of Cups, I'm also picking up like for some of the collective, the message here is both of these cards paired together. Like there could be an ending of a relationship or a friendship as part of your boundary setting. This could very well be your twin flame, this Two of Cups energy, that it's accompanied by the death. Another interpretation I'm getting is that after the Four of Swords and Four of Cups and the death of that kind of scarcity mindset and thinking, you are then opened up to a healthy relationship, which is represented by the Two of Cups. So I want to channel more into this to get more clarity. So we have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, this is telling me that you are being called to focus on projects that require collaboration, teamwork, like finding a sense of community and a passion project, a creative project that is going to feed your soul. You know, the Three of Pentacles talks a lot about mastering a skill, learning something, building something, which, you know, takes effort, takes dedication. It's got to be something that you're truly interested in learning about, like something that you want to be a student of, or like an apprentice. Someone who's somebody who is committed to the process of mastery and a topic that you would actually be wanting to master. And so I'm really feeling like this pull from, you know, as we give ourselves opportunities to rest, we then have the energy to channel into that creative flow. We're able to prioritize our creative projects more. But that only comes after we give ourselves the opportunity to rest and the opportunity to change our scarcity, lack perspective represented by the Four of Cups, right? To bring that to an end, to bring that to death, right? Like to instead decide to see where in life we can find abundance instead of finding lack or scarcity or things that are not fulfilling to us. So with the Three of Pentacles, again, I'm just really feeling like your angels and spirit guides are guiding you to focus on your passion projects and focus away from the things that drain you, stress you. You may need to focus away from a particular relationship or friendship, or this could very well be your twin flame. You may have recently endured a separation with your twin flame, and spirit is guiding you to pivot your focus on creative projects, and especially one that will require collaboration and teamwork, where you can have a group of people that share a mission. This could be your career, or it could be like a side kind of creative passion project. So take it as it resonates. This is a lot of different scenarios. I think that there's within the collective a lot of different scenarios. So I'm kind of picking up on multiple threads of energy here. So please take what resonates. I think you'll know exactly like what scenario you are in and what therefore resonates with you. So let's see what else I can channel here. There is also a small sample of the collective where they're going to have friendships or even relationships in the same setting as this passion project or career. And so I'm getting, this is very specific, but I'm getting that like this twin flame is at your work or on this passion project. Like you have the opportunity to work together, but this is a very opposite kind of energy and thread of energy and scenario as the one that is in separation, right? So we have different kind of messages coming through here. So basically on one end, we have somebody who is prioritizing rest, ending the lack mindset, potentially in separation from their twin flame and shifting their focus on either their career or passion projects. On the other hand, we have somebody who is also prioritizing rest, ending lack mindset, and learning how to balance their twin flame relationship in their work or passion project setting. So let's see what else we can get here. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles. Wow, that is like extremely powerful. So I'm feeling like if your twin flame is the divine masculine, or that's how you resonate, doesn't have to be correlated to exact gender, but I'm getting that you are seeing them as a figure, like an authority figure of abundance, financial success, right? Like that material success, that prosperity, somebody who's going to be secure and stable and who's going to work hard for what they dream, right? They have ambitious goals. They're a successful leader. They're confident. They're generous. I feel like this is your ideal. This is like your twin flame in their highest form, right? Like, let's see what else we can get. Six of Pentacles. Yeah. So we have this concept of like giving, maybe charity, if that's a specific interpretation. But feeling like this King of Pentacles, divine masculine figure is generous and wants to share resources in a fair way, and is kind of balancing like what they have versus what they can give. Another really specific thread I'm picking up on is that your twin flame may be somebody who gives a lot, and they're on a journey of balancing like what they can give in career versus love. Like that may be a big cause of your separation, is they're prioritizing career and, in an avoidant state, kind of lack of commitment, fear of commitment when it comes to love and your connection. So Spirit is guiding you to look within as to how this may be a mirror to how you navigate through life, right? So we have talked before about the Four of Swords energy and needing to rest and having that kind of people pleaser, overgiving energy, and which needs to meet its death. I think that's why I accidentally said that. I don't think it was a coincidence. I think like very much that was the message that it needs to come out in this moment. The Four of Swords and the death are very much like calling for this scenario of an end to people pleasing and a beginning of rest, a beginning of living a life prioritizing rest. I'm also picking up a side message of like not sacrificing your sleep. Like you really should be prioritizing your sleep and really seeing that as crucial as eating and showering, right? Like your sleep is key, especially if you're listening to this, you have very intuitive abilities, which are only going to be nurtured if you are giving yourself the rest, specifically the sleep that you need. So what I'm channeling is like kind of this mirroring with the Six of Pentacles of how your twin flame, as well as you, are on a journey of learning how to balance what you can give and what you can receive. And so, like I've said before, like this isn't about your twin. This isn't about, your twin flame is going to figure everything out and you're going to be in reunion, right? Your twin flame is a mirror. Your twin flame is a tool to mirror to you what you cannot see yourself. I'm getting chills through that. So when you look at your twin and you think something judgmental about them, like they should better balance work and love, like they should make me a priority, they should want to be with me, or whatever it may be, right? Whether you're in separation or whether you're the collective that is maybe working with your twin, or just simply having struggles when it comes to balancing, work and love, whether it's you or your twin flame or both who are struggling with this. You are being called to recognize what this is mirroring within yourself. So you may be also needing to balance something within your life. Maybe it's not as similar to your twin flame's journey of balancing work and love. Maybe it's just a simple balancing of what you give versus what you allow yourself. Like maybe you're over giving to others when you need to be resting, right? Like there's a mirroring effect that's going on, and spirit is urging you to dive into that and investigate. We also have the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel like this is extremely fitting here because this talks very much about the natural flow of life, right? When we talk about the wheel, or when we talk about this balance of work and love, or this balance of giving and receiving, this is a constant thing. This isn't just one thing that we master and then never experience again, right? Like throughout life, we are constantly ebbing and flowing with this balance, right? So we ultimately improve in those skills, but there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times where you make a mistake. There's going to be times when you are demonstrating mastery in this area and feeling that success and balance. And it's a reminder to release any shame you may feel. I'm getting this message really strongly, that the shame you feel about where you're at, or even the shame that you project onto your twin flame, like they should be better, they shouldn't do this to me, it's egoic and it's not helpful where we're going. It's not needed on your highest timeline. So why water that weed, right? Like I'm getting the imagery of like the more you allow your mind to kind of spiral in these negative thought patterns, it's one thing to feel emotions and release them in your body through feeling them, but it's another thing to kind of propagate that same thinking by feeding those thoughts, right? Like don't water that weed. Water the beautiful rose that is your heart, that is your love, that is your, your highest spiritual self, but you don't need to water the weed that is your mind's thoughts that are just spiraling into shame and the projection of shame onto others. So that message is coming through really strong. And the Wheel of Fortune is showing you that you have within you the ability to be flexible and to adapt to these ebbs and flows of life. The days that are good, the days that don't feel so good, that ultimately you are working on these skills of balancing, overgiving versus boundaries, or balancing work and love. Like there are so many areas and aspects of life that we can seek balance in. And there may be something that is particularly resonating with you, or that's coming to mind for you right now that you've been feeling out of balance in. Maybe you feel like you haven't had enough rest, or maybe you feel like you've been neglecting your social life, or maybe you feel like you've been neglecting your creative projects, right? Like this is the key of the twin flame journey, right? Like figuring out what we need to pour into more so that we can reach that union with self. When we talk about union with self, we're talking about balance with the inner divine feminine and the inner divine masculine. This is not about, twin flame journey, the outcome is that we end up together happily ever after. Ultimately, that's completely irrelevant, right? Like the person, the physical manifestation or incarnation of this person is irrelevant. It's about you. Can you recognize like how sacred you are, like on your own, like just you, not your twin, not you plus your twin, not you plus having a successful life in this XYZ way, but just you, like as you are in this moment. 'Cause that is huge. Like that is the key to getting to that place of feeling that inner union, of realizing like how magical and sacred you are as a divine being, as an extension of source energy. And so the Wheel of Fortune is reminding us that, of course, we're in this physical world. We're going to feel shame. We're going to feel love. We're going to feel that we're in balance. We're going to feel that we're not in balance. We're going to feel really inspired on work projects. And then we're going to feel really inspired in our love and relationships. Like, we're going to constantly go through cycles, go through ups and downs, go through flows. And the message is to allow it and to just find the acceptance, and not just accepting it in like a way where you're like, okay, that's fine, that's life, but in a way that tastes sweet. I'm hearing like honey, like in a way that wherever you are on this Wheel of Fortune, you can tap into that perspective, that you can zoom out and think to yourself, wow, like life is beautiful. Life is beautiful when I feel love. Life is beautiful when I feel shame. And not in a spiritual bypassing way, right? Like, ultimately, the 3D earthly experience is very real. Like, it's very difficult. But finding the beauty in even those experiences that are labeled as like darker or negative, and just recognizing that that's the beauty of the duality of life, and bringing us back to the High Priestess. That's what that card talks about as well, as this balance, this duality, knowing that we live in a world of duality. Our consciousness is always going to perceive duality. There's going to be the earthly realm versus the spiritual realm. There's going to be shame. There's going to be love. There's going to be focusing everything on work and focusing everything on your relationship, right? Like, there's always going to be a countering or opposing choice to the choice that you are currently making, right? And so can you find the beauty in that? Not just accept it, but find the beauty in the Wheel of Fortune. Like, life is beautiful when I'm at the top. Life is beautiful when I'm at the bottom. And really feeling and embodying that full gratitude simply for your existence, and simply for the opportunity to have this human experience, right? And that like, you may have tapped into this in the past when you're not kind of in this egoic trap, but when you're really feeling that full love and appreciation, which for many of us, we have never felt before we met our twin flame, right? Even with all of the triggering they do, maybe even the way that they betray us or hurt us, like, ultimately there is a moment where you think or look at your twin flame and you think to yourself, like I love this journey, like, unconditionally. Like, I'm so abundantly overjoyed with how far I've come as a result of being on this journey, right? Like, most of us don't live in that state of mind or in that state of being, but we felt it at least once before, where we feel this immense gratitude and love for our twin flame and for the journey itself. Especially if you've gone through a huge transformation as a result of your twin flame journey, and you're able to look at it and be like, wow, I'm actually overjoyed with love for this person and for the entire journey, even the parts that are painful. That's kind of what I'm getting at here, is this like unconditional love for the experience. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards. I hope that resonates. I know that was like a lot of talk about balance and things like that. So let me know in the comments if anything resonates, especially. I want to pull an oracle here on from the Sacred Geometry Oracle. Okay, we have perception. Wow, that is spot on. So this is number 35, so that may be a significant number for you. Perception. You know, we were just talking about perspective and how we see life. So I'm really feeling like from your angels and spirit guides, like they want you to really prioritize how you perceive life, because ultimately, like, you are in control of that, and your consciousness and how you perceive life is going to ultimately dictate your reality. So this card says, the frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it, right? So when you're looking at your twin flame journey and you're thinking, this is bad, this is betrayal, this is loss, this is pain, this is rejection, like, there's another side to it, because we live in this world of duality, and I'm getting chills channeling into this. So can you shift your perception? Can you see the love in the experience, the self-love, right? Like when there's rejection and like what we perceive to be a loss of love or a failure of love to, take off, what we're actually given the opportunity for is tapping into an abundance of self-love. So which do you want your reality to be? Do you want to live in a reality of rejection, or do you want to live in a reality of unconditional, infinite self-love? The duality is right there in front of you to choose from. And again, it's not to say that there should be shame if you ever feel rejection, right? Like, again, this is the wheel of fortune. Like, you're going to feel rejection, you're going to feel self-love. You're going to go through both dualities in life. That's the human experience. But can you see how the duality of it is beautiful? Not just the love. It's not just the love that's beautiful and the shame that's ugly, or the rejection that's ugly. The duality of the entire experience is beautiful. Let's see what else I can channel on this. So it says, our consciousness determines our perception, and there is no absolute truth in what we perceive. There are always more layers to uncover, more insights to be revealed. So this is about expanding our perception of reality. I know this is getting very quantum, but if you're on the twin flame journey, you are meant for this. Like, you are meant to master this. You are meant to hear this wherever you are at in your journey. However ready you feel to receive this insight, it's for you, regardless of where you feel you're at right now. This is the path towards harmony and peace in our inner world and in the world around us. I'm going to actually read this exercise. I don't always read these exercises, but I'm feeling drawn to do that. Close your eyes and think about where the edges of your comfort zones lie. Are you willing to try something new, or do you prefer to stay in your familiar routines? When is the last time you did something completely out of your comfort zone? Go inside yourself and witness how your perception of reality can change by just changing your point of focus from the outer to the inner. So you are being called to really question the narrative that your ego has been placing on things. Can you expand your perception even further than it's used to? Further towards love, further towards seeing the beauty in all things, reaching that inner harmony and inner peace. That is what you are being called to do. Okay, I want to pull one more oracle because I feel like we're kind of on a roll and the energy is really strong. Ooh, we have synergy. So this is number 41. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of the not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. Interesting. So this is really about recognizing that when we take on these new perceptions or perspectives, and we embody that new way of being, we think different, we work different, we relate and we love different, we are able to achieve these synergetic states of being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. Wow, that is beautiful. I want to see if there's anything more I can say on this. I definitely feel like when you are nurturing your spiritual path, you are co-creating, and there's like a ripple effect that is sent out to the world, to the planet, and it is more impactful than you can imagine. So when you commit to changing your perspective, opening yourself up to these synergetic dynamics, which doesn't have to be like you with another external thing or person. It could just be within yourself, because ultimately we're all connected, right? So when you are focused on yourself and your healing and your inner work, that ripple is sent out, and now you're in this synergetic dynamic with the entire planet. I know that's very quantum, but this is like coming through so strongly, so I feel like this message is definitely meant to find you. Like ultimately, when everyone on the planet is, or I shouldn't say everyone, but when multiple people across the planet are committing to their higher path, to love, to harmony, to peace, it is more powerful than the sum of each individual impact, right? Like that's what the synergy is. It's creating something that is way more powerful than we could create on our own. And it's such a magical, it's something that you can't, it's so abstract, right? Like you can't exactly explain it with an equation, right? Like it really is a magical way to exist when you were able to tap into that co-creation. And this is also bringing us back to that call for your creative or passion projects, right? Like, we talked about the Three of Pentacles with that collaboration and teamwork. Like, I feel like this is definitely relating back to that, because we're talking about finding a creative project where multiple people can be aligned on the goal and work together and co-create something that's so much more powerful than you could have ever achieved individually. And that's the beauty of connection with others, right? Paired with that duality of connection with self, nurturing yourself, resting, like all of the inner work that you go through to attract these aligned, collaborative relationships with people. Like that's a beautiful pairing when we talk about duality and we talk about balancing, right? Like the inner versus the outer world. That's what gets us into that sweet spot of that synergetic creation. So I'm going to leave the reading here. Thank you so much for listening. I know that got really quantum today, so I hope it resonated. I will be back on a lot, as there's a lot of highly energetic and powerful twin flame energy going on in the collective recently. So I'm really committed to coming on regularly. So please let me know if there's anything you want me to channel into, or if anything resonated. I would love to have you subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.